Brought to you by Penguin.
The Sandpit, by Nicholas Shakespeare, read by David Bark Jones. Prologue. Shula read his text message, and the air thinned around her. Why was he sending her this? It was exactly what they'd agreed he must never do. Her instinct was to call him. In that void between dialing his number and the distinctive British ringtone, she caught herself. Foolish. Foolish. Abruptly she rang off. Her need to hear Rustam's voice ran deeper than her common sense. The baby was still asleep. No one else in the bedroom, yet she had the sensation that eyes were tracking her. She turned off the phone and slapped it, face down, on the small chest of drawers. Her movements were self-conscious, disembodied even, the actions of a young woman who'd just woken up and was watching herself being watched. She knew implicitly that even the most neutral gesture, like unpinning her hair, would become data. It was early Saturday morning, and he was supposed to have telephoned last night. She had dozed off, waiting. This reckless text of his, so out of character, added to her foreboding. She picked up a brush and pulled it through her hair. She hadn't had time to wash it, although the baby took pleasure in the smell and in grabbing hold and hiding in the black weight of it. Her son Samir, too, had loved to tangle himself like that. With his departure, she'd had to cut herself off from the physicality that she'd shared with her firstborn, as well as rechannel the longing which prickled her skin whenever she thought of her husband. It was an acute missing, and she had struggled. But that was the deal. And now this text. She tried to conjure her more robust self, and view it as a bit of a game, as in the beginning she had treated their Friday night telephone calls. But the surveillance had changed the way her mind worked. It had reached such a deep invasion of privacy. The men in the car parked permanently outside knew what books she read, what radio stations she tuned into, the food she ate. With a deliberate gesture, she put down her hairbrush, fighting off a sick feeling that they could even hear her thinking. The baby was her only relief, swaddled on the bed. When the baby was crying was the best time to have her most subversive thoughts. She couldn't believe that they would want to listen to those sharp, obliterating shrieks. The building was silent. It would be after midnight in Oxford. In the city outside, dawn was breaking. She stepped to the window to feel the early morning's breath on her neck, her shoulders. Stars in the clear sky, smell of hot seeds. The small maple tree below has a red kite trapped in its branches. Between the leaves, the black roof of the pecan glints in the streetlight. A second vehicle is drawn up beside it, newer, larger, also without number plates. Suddenly, footsteps on the roof, a rattling of shutters, someone beating on the door downstairs. The baby stirs. A separate hammering on the door at the back. Part 1. Chapter 1. The playground was deserted. The only adults in sight on that chill afternoon were a couple studying the glass-fronted notice board outside the school building known as the Rink. A short, thick-set man in a brown leather bomber jacket and a long blue and white striped scarf wrapped ostentatiously around his neck, and a woman in jeans, slender, taller, wearing a fur hat and earmuffs. Dyer's heart started to race. Gennady and Katya. They must have finished their meeting and were waiting for their son to reappear. To avoid Katya and her husband, but also out of habit, Dyer turned left at the gate.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?